magic touch our Mary does.
Oh,
Okay.
Mary Martin? Wasn't she in Peter Pan?
Little pixie dust in order to sing. Now just know that whatever the day is like outside, there is sunshine, and it's already making the cloud in the sky so beautiful. So God is my source, and let's do it. Amen. Momentito, per favore, mi perro me está hablando. Here we go. God is my source.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks, for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks, for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my power.
Joy is my power.
Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks, for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace gives my source.
Peace is my source.
Peace is my power.
Peace is my power.
Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks, for all my blessings.
All my blessings.
Peace gives me everything I need. Back to God. God is my source.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks, for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Okay, now that we've raised the energy, we're going to bring it back down. And the multi-talented, multitasking Sylvia will be our practitioner today.
Abiding in peace takes letting go of combative thoughts. Abiding in peace takes a willingness to free ourselves from negativity and feelings of doom and gloom. Abiding in peace is as simple as releasing the cares of the world and taking our attention within to the kingdom of God that renews, refreshes, and makes all things new. The consciousness of peace is available to all when we open ourselves up to it. Peace is our natural state when we recognize love is the substance and the unifying element beneath, in, and through all. During our silent meditation, I invite you to contemplate this thought. I experience true abiding peace as I unify with love.
breathing, listening, feeling, knowing God is. God is all there is. Today is unfolding so perfectly, with ease and grace, with unexpected delights of what the sunshine and the clouds and the sprinkles ring, as they ring and ring and ring through the atmosphere. Each living being is energized by the unifying love of Divine Spirit. Whether here within our sanctuary or online, across the entire nation and beyond, around the globe. We are all connected as one community experiencing the waves of love energy pouring into us, flowing into us in the magnificence of oneness. I give thanks for knowing that all this is communicated beautifully through our technology. The words spoken, the songs that are sung, the responses from those who are experiencing the inspiration of what our speaker has to deliver. Words of wisdom, words of truth from the heart, deep and abiding love, peace, and harmony. So let us celebrate the good of all that there is here today with the music, the words of wisdom, the joy of being together, unified even more throughout this whole Sunday service. We are so blessed. And together we say, and so it is. All right. Joe Rathburn is our fabulous musician today. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thanks, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'd like to start off with this song of mine called Peace is Possible. Talk about inner peace and world peace and world peas. Yep. Now let us talk of only what binds us, not what divides us. Now let us talk of only what binds us, not what divides us. That's what I say. We all breathe the air, We all drink the water. We see the same sun rise and set on each day. We all feel the urge that stirs procreation, and we all feel the need for shelter and fire. We all want respect. We revel in laughter. We all seek for love. It's our deepest desire, because peace is possible through love. It's possible through love. Peace, but only through love. It's possible through love. Peace is possible through love, but only through love. You don't throw an anchor to someone who's drowning. You don't use gasoline to douse a fire. And you can't create peace by warring on people. That's a failed solution. We've got to retire. They talk about wolves. They talk about sheepdogs. They talk about sheep. They ask, which one are you? Well, I'm not a wolf, a sheep, or a sheepdog. I'm a human who knows only one thing is true, and that's peace is possible through love. It's possible through love. Peace only through love. It's possible through love. Peace is possible through love, but only through love. Take all of the concepts for God we have now, pour them all down to their essence is pure, and what you'd have left then is an elixir called love, and love is the cure. The children pick up whatever we show them, whatever we're doing, they're learning today. So let's no longer teach them that war is an answer. Give them the elixir and war goes away, because peace is possible through love. It's possible through love. Peace, but only through love. It's possible through love. Peace is possible through love, but only through love. All we are saying, give peace a chance. Sing that. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Peace is possible. Peace is possible, but only through love. It's possible. Peace is possible, only through love. Peace is possible through love. It's through love. Peace is possible through love, only through love. Only through love. Peace possible, but only through love. Peace is possible through love, but only through love. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joe. I was thinking as I was listening to Sylvia and her meditation and the reading, and then Joe's song, just about how perfect it is, because we know what the title of the day is, but we don't coordinate our readings or the music or anything, and it just all seems to fall into place so perfectly. And the other thing I was thinking about was, all we are saying is give peace a chance. That was John Lennon. Do you know what year that was? It was, no. It was the early 70s. Yeah, it was the early 70s, around the Vietnam War, and I think that kind of ended 73, 74, something like that. I think the draft ended in 73, but whatever. But it's been a long time. It has been a long time that we have been, thank you, just holding the space for peace. And we look around the world today and we haven't achieved it yet. So that's what I'd like to talk about today. Is there anybody here who would like to experience more peace in their lives and in the world? All of us, right? Yeah, all of us. So this is a kind of a long one, but I'm going to start with this. This is by Zenju Earthlyn Manuel from The Way of Tenderness, Awakening Through Race, Sexuality, and Gender. And we have, down through the ages, developed many means to attempt to heal, mend, and atone for our actions. Yet while our spiritual paths have assisted us, our aspirations to be better human beings may inadvertently hinder us. To be good people, we tend to bypass the messiness of our lives in order to experience tranquility. Can the gate of tranquility really be as we imagine it? No matter which way we approach peace, it seems we must cross the burning threshold of human conditioning to enter it. So before we leap to the universal, the true essence or spirit, why not start where we are as human beings? We must carve a path through the flames of our human condition. We must see it for what it is and bow to it. Not a pitiful bow, but a bow of acknowledgement. By acknowledging our human condition, we acknowledge that we might not know how to end hatred, that we are not superheroes. We are human beings. So what is the human condition? What does it mean to be human beings? Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said, "We are spiritual beings having a human experience." And, when we come to this earth, when we incarnate into these bodies, there are certain characteristics that we all share. One is that we experience the forgetfulness of who we really are. We experience the illusion of separation. We experience suffering. We learn lessons. And as we grow and evolve, we begin to consciously create our world and our lives. And hopefully we come full circle and we remember the unity and our wholeness. I learned something new this week as part of a breathwork meditation. And I had never heard this before, but they sort of acted like it was sort of universal knowledge. So you guys may know this, and I did not, but it's this breath work where you inhale world and exhale peace. You're familiar with that? I was not familiar with that. And when I first heard it, I was like, why do I want to inhale the world? But what it really means is that we become aware of our connectedness with the world and we express peace. We release stress. We release conflict within ourselves. And I had an experience this week. I think I've shared about my ankles. Broke my right ankle on Halloween. Recovered a couple of months. It still gives me a little pain now and then I twisted my left foot in March. And so I've just had this, ongoing issue with my feet and my ankles. And so, yay, I started physical therapy this week. And she gave me, she was really wonderful. She took time with me. She explained things. And sort of explain, like, this is not the only thing you pulled. You pulled some other muscles, and this little joint was kind of like out of whack. It's supposed to be like that, and it was like that. No wonder why my foot has been swelling, for months. But she gave me some exercises, and some of them are relatively easy. Use a band and pull the foot to the left and to the right and up and down. But the balance ones, I had to stand for 60 seconds and balance. And I was like touching the wall and touching the table, and I found myself kind of beating myself up for not being able to balance, not being able to stand on one foot. And it is hard, and it's very important, especially those of us, as we mature, we really need to have that balance, because falling is really detrimental as we mature. And I found myself, like, my self-talk, my inner critic was criticizing myself for not being able to stand for, 10 seconds was hard. And granted, I'm healing, but I was still beating myself up. And then I just had this thought, this peace that came over me that reminded me that I am in the healing process. And can you just be gentle with yourself? Can you have some compassion for yourself? I'm in physical therapy for a reason, because I need to build up the strength. I need to increase my flexibility and improve my balance. And I used to tell my son when he would get frustrated at math, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He would get frustrated in math because he didn't know how to do it. And I remember telling him, you're not supposed to know how to do it on the first day. You go in not knowing how to do it, and they teach you how to do it. So it was just this experience of peace that I had this week, to just be gentle with myself. Allow myself to grow into it. And this idea of the inner transformation is that it's the importance of the individual transformation to achieve that global peace and harmony. And to genuinely foster peace, we must recognize that conflict is not an external phenomenon, but it is a reflection of that inner discord. And I don't think I'm the only one that has that. I think we all kind of share that. No matter how evolved we think we are, there are moments when that inner critic shows up, isn't there? Science of Mind highlights the deep connection between our inner state and our outer reality. It teaches that our thoughts are powerful forces that create the experiences of our lives. Resolving conflicts is more than just a tactical process. It becomes a spiritual practice that aligns with harmony, love, and unity. It's not a one-time event. It's a process. It is an unfolding. And when we nurture thoughts of love and peace, we contribute to the collective consciousness that raises the vibration. Like I said, when we first incarnate into this earth and into this earthly human body, we lower our vibration of that spiritual being that we are. We have to become this dense mass. We have to lower the vibration. And so as we evolve and as we grow, we increase that vibration. We increase that frequency and become more connected with our higher selves, the truth of who we are. And the phrase, we sing, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me," every Sunday. And doesn't that perfectly characterize what we're talking about today. It captures our philosophy. It reminds us that while global peace is a significant challenge, it starts with inner transformation. We focus on self-awareness and forgiveness and compassion and love. And as we foster that inner peace, as we have those moments of inner peace and connection, it radiates outward to the world. And sometimes we are in a period of great transformation. I used to say, I wish I was born like 20 years earlier so I could be at my, peak self in the 60s, right? Because it was such a big time of change and people coming together and supporting, hopefully, peace, moving towards peace, recognizing the violence and war and things that were in the world. So it was a transformative time. The other thing I also believe about that is if I was in my 20s during the 60s, I might not have survived. But this time in human history is huge. It's huge. The dawning of the age of Aquarius is with us now. We are in it. We are in the midst of it. We are in the thick of it. And being human can be messy, both on the individual level and on the collective level. And sometimes our transformation, I talk about this all the time. We think it's going to be this loving, gentle thing that we experience, but it's usually crisis and conflict and tragedy and pain and that kind of thing that really gets our attention. I remember when I was at the church in Fallbrook, Reverend Nancy Bergeron was the minister when I first started going there, and she said, let peace be the motivating force of our transformation. And that was a mantra that we had for a while where, peace is my motivation and joy is my motivation rather than pain and struggling and problems. So, Dr. Martin Luther King said, we must concentrate not merely on the negative expulsion of war, but on a positive affirmation of peace. Positive peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. So this idea of a negative and a positive peace, negative peace refers to the mere absence of violence or conflict, a situation where tensions might be suppressed, but underlying issues remain unaddressed. This form of peace can be fragile, as it does not necessarily resolve discord or injustice. It's a state where problems are temporarily quieted, but not resolved. And I believe this has been going on my entire life. I was born a year after the Civil Rights Act was signed into law. That tells how old I am if you remember when that happened. And I feel like I grew up feeling that we lived in a place of justice where there was equality, racial equality and gender equality and just sort of everything was great. And what has happened in recent years, maybe the last 10 years or so, is that the underbelly of injustice has revealed itself, and it's been there all along. And sometimes in our transformation, things have to appear to get worse before they get better. And I believe we are in that time, that collective time right now. In contrast, a positive peace is characterized by justice, equality, and the proactive promotion of well-being for all. Positive peace seeks to address the underlying causes of conflict, such as systemic injustices and social inequalities, and aims to build a foundation of equality and mutual respect. Positive peace often looks different than our traditional spiritual view of peace because it involves setting clear boundaries, holding ourselves and others accountable, and holding systems accountable. This form of peace requires active engagement or action, addressing underlying issues and implementing solutions, which can initially feel challenging and confrontational. And we feel like confrontation is antithetical to peace. But it's that peaceful resistance, you know? And what you resist persists. So there's all these conflicting ideas, right? And that's why when we go within and we heal the peace within, we heal ourselves. It will express outwardly, and we will make an impact on the world around us. And as Ernest Holmes said, we should strive to be for something and against nothing. That is one of my favorite Ernest Holmes ideas. And I remember being out protesting different things in the past. I haven't done it recently, but I really tried to embody that and be for peace, give peace a chance, than against war. So it's so easy, at least for me, I know it's easy for me if somebody says, what do you want? I will start with, well, I don't want this and I don't want that. It's easy to talk about what we don't want. But getting clear about what we do want and working towards that, visualizing it and expressing it in our own lives, in ourselves. They say if you're looking for a relationship, be the person that you want to receive in a relationship. Be that person first, and then you'll attract the same. So our own inability to connect with inner peace influences our external reality. Internal conflicts such as unresolved emotions or personal turmoils often manifest in external interactions and relationships through our own unconscious habits, beliefs, and patterns, and ways of engaging with others, which can lead to misunderstandings and discord in our lives. Fostering small-scale peace in our daily lives through practices like mindfulness, self-awareness, and empathy can ripple outward, impacting larger societal goals. And personal responsibility is foundational in achieving inner peace. It involves an active and conscious commitment to fostering harmony and resolving conflicts. Excuse me, I have a little throat thing. So what this involves is acknowledging our own contributions to discord and taking proactive steps to address them. Requires engaging in self-reflection and recognizing how our actions, words, and attitudes impact others. By owning our part in conflicts, we can contribute to creating a more peaceful and equitable world. In the 12-step programs The fourth step is taking a personal inventory of the wrongs that we've done to others, of our fears, of our resentments. And part of the process in reviewing these situations and events is looking at our part, which many of us don't do. When we're in a conflict situation, what's our go-to? It's their fault. This is what they did. But what's our part? If we step back, if we learn to make a habit of stepping back when we're in any type of conflict situation and saying, how did I contribute to this? What is my part in this? Because as they say, the only thing you have control over is your own actions. You can't control somebody else's behavior. As I said, this is not a one-time act or one-time event. It is a continual process. And like my experience at the physical therapist's office this week, it's in our daily lives. And when we can quiet that inner critic and show compassion for ourselves, then we can begin to show compassion and empathy and understanding for the person in front of us. And as we learn to do that with the person in front of us, then we can learn to do it with our neighbors on the street and the people on the road and the people in a different state and the people in a different country. And you see how that ripples out. You see how it just ripples and continues to expand. So the call to action, the homework this week, is to look for opportunities to connect with others, to engage in active listening, especially if they're others of a different opinion or belief system than ourselves. Listen to understand. Engage in open dialogue in an effort to create a culture where conflicts can be addressed constructively. Y'all got that? You got your homework? You're going to engage in a conversation, maybe with somebody who doesn't have the same belief system as you. You're going to actively listen. You're going to engage in a dialogue. Allow them to say their piece without judgment. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have an opportunity to do that this week. So did I put this up? We do have an affirmation. Yes. So we're going to say this affirmation together 3 times. First, quietly. And then in a normal speaking voice. And then we are going to affirm it out loud. So here we go. With empathy and compassion for myself and others, I heal conflict and discord in my life and move toward lasting peace. With empathy and compassion for myself and others, I heal conflict and discord in my life and move toward lasting peace. With empathy and compassion for others, I heal conflict and discord in my life and move toward lasting peace. And so it is. Okay. So before we invite Joe back up, I just invite you to take a breath with me. Breathe in the world. Exhale peace. So I'm just knowing right here, right now, the very presence of the divine, that one life, that infinite presence, living, moving, having its being, its expression, its experience, as each one of us have, as we have answered the call to this life and these circumstances that we are in. And coming together on this day in this community just to just to remember that we are negotiating peace, that we are resolving conflicts, and we are transforming ourselves. And in so doing, we are transforming the world. And so just recognizing that the seed has been planted today, the divine words have flown through me as me. They have flown through the musicians, through Joe, and through technology, and everything that is happening in this community, in this service, on this day. I know that it ripples outwards in our lives and in the lives of all that we influence and impact in the days and hours and the week ahead. And I'm just so grateful for this time together. I'm grateful to know the truth for each one of us here, whether we're here in person, whether we're online in real time, online in a future timeline. I just know that we are just blessed that there's a grace and a peace and an ease moving through each one of us in our lives. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this, to experience it, just to hold the light for each one here today. And so I just allow this to unfold. I call it forth into being, saying, let it be done. And so it is. So let's bring Joe back.